Again, the story we're talking about, in case you don't know, we're all reacting to the sad news of Don Sutton passing away. The Hall of Fame right-hander was 75 years old. He played 23 seasons in the big leagues, was a four-time All-Star, led the National League in ERA with a 2.2 in 1980 at the age of 35. He pitched in 9 postseason series, going 6-4 with an ERA of 3.68. He was steady, durable, reliable, inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1998 with over 81% of the vote. And when he was voted in, there were some people going, "Wait a minute, this guy he was never a flamethrower, and he wasn't a Cy Young Award winner." But man, there is extreme value in the greatness of someone that's going to take the ball and give your team that kind of a great chance to win.
Yes, and I think that the two schools of thought, like you got the Sandy Koufax, the short career, pure domination. Here with Don Sutton, 23 years. I think the highest he was in Cy Young was 4th.
Yep.
A few All-Stars, as you mentioned, Greg, 4-time All-Star. I think, you think of the longevity, and yes, there's some things that should be rewarded for this, but it wasn't like he won 240 games or 30 games or 250 games. That's 324 wins and a heck of a curveball. And the time when he retired, he was 4th all time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now it's been broken with modern day players, but he had a very, very good career for sure.
Yeah, broke into the big leagues as a rookie in a rotation that featured Sandy Koufax and Don Drysdale.
He was the perfect complement.
That's a good way to look at it.
Hard thrower, and all of a sudden this guy just was a master of command, a guy who took the ball every 5 days. Guys, he played 23 seasons, and now you're a pitcher. 23 seasons, he averaged 230 innings a year for 23 years. Right? There's a great saying, it says, fame comes in a moment, but greatness comes with longevity. And this is a guy who really exuded that greatness over 23 years. One of 10 pitchers with over 300 wins and 3,000 strikeouts.
Yeah.
He just did it all.
Yeah.
And then we kind of followed his footpaths. He went into broadcasting in the Braves Hall of Fame as a
really
broadcaster.
good at it. Really good at it.
Did that for 20 years. And for me personally, I had a chance to compete against him, albeit at the end of his career. But I have a chance to go down to Palm Springs every year with a friend of mine and play in like a member guest tournament, and happens to be Don Sutton's course.
Oh yeah.
So when they found out that I play, like all of his guys like kind of wanted some dirt on him, but you could just tell how much they loved him. And Greg, you're a member at a nice place. It's those guys, they know you, right?
Oh, you're hanging out,
yeah,
smoking
they know you.
cigars.
And all I heard was just pure class on the field and clearly off the field.
No, I love the image of him. He didn't dye his hair, which I truly appreciated. Like the gray, the early gray that he had.
With the curls.
Yeah, but he wasn't tricking anybody. When you talk about stuff, which I know you love to do, he wasn't throwing, no offense to the Hall of Famers that threw knuckleballs, but he wasn't like, he went up there and threw a curveball and spotted his fastball, and he tried to navigate through lineups, didn't he?
Yeah. Listen, I mean, watch the rip here, and I think about my childhood there. This is back in the day with the World Series games and then the All-Star game. He threw 3 scoreless. When did we see that in an All-Star game at Yankee Stadium? He was the MVP that year. You make a good point, because I think when you look at Don Sutton, and look at that, gee whiz, most starts in MLB history. You got Cy Young, Nolan Ryan. You not only longevity, Greg, but the way in which that he pitched. I think it was probably in a time when, yes, it was a big curveball. He made his starts. You said what, 230 innings?
23 years.
23 years. Wow. But it was his desire and the want to get 300 wins, which was the big benchmark. And while it took him 23 years, and I think that was the bugaboo, right? He played for a lot of teams as he played out the rest of his career. I find that as a Hall of Fame career, to have somebody to have that meaning and want it that badly to play that long.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about fans in Atlanta right now, because growing up idolizing a broadcaster and Jack Buck, you love your broadcasters. And 28 years in the booth calling Braves games. He spent a long time there. So that's a fan base as well that is mourning the loss of Don Sutton.